All right, my friends, today we are putting two Houston, Texas suburbs head to head in an epic series that I like to call Battle of the Burbs, baby. And these aren't just any ordinary suburbs either. These are some of the best areas to live in the Houston region. Welcome to the Katy versus Cypress Texas showdown. Two of Houston's most popular suburbs. Both are highly searched, both are loved, and both are very different, even though they might look very similar on paper. So if you're thinking about moving to Houston and trying to decide between whether it's going to be Katy or whether it's going to be Cypress, this video is going to save you a ton of time and probably a few arguments at the dinner table. What's up, guys? My name is Andrew Lake. I'm the creator of the Life in Houston YouTube channel, and we help people just like you buy, sell, and relocate here to the Houston region every single month. And so if that is you, all of my information is in the description box down below. You know how to find me. All right, so today's showdown is going to be divided up into several different categories, which are going to include which suburb has the best master plan communities with those really awesome resort style amenities. Then we're gonna break it down to who has the better school districts between the two suburbs, who has the most new construction available, and also who has the most options for affordability. That's a pretty big one there. And then on the other side of that, who has the better, more luxurious homes to choose from, and then who has the better commute times, and then finally, which one out of the two suburbs has the better shopping, dining, and entertainment options. And I think the winner of that one is gonna surprise you. Let's go ahead and get started. So first up, let's talk about who has the best neighborhoods. So now let's talk about what everyone really secretly cares about within these neighborhoods is who has the better master planned communities with those resort style amenities. Because listen to me, my friends. If I'm going to be paying HOA fees, I'm not trying to get one of those sad little poor looking pools and one little lonely bench that's hotter than the hood of a Texas truck in the Texas heat in August. I don't want that. I want those resort style vibes. So let's start with Katy, and then we'll move over to Cypress and see what these two neighborhoods or communities have to offer. Now, Katy has some absolute heavy hitters, no doubt about it. Cinco Ranch, for example. Cinco Ranch is massive, and it gives residents access to a ton of pools and recreational spaces that are gonna be scattered across the community. It's really one of those places where it feels like there's always a pool option nearby, and it's very family friendly and it's well established. Now, another neighborhood is going to be Cross Creek Ranch. Cross Creek Ranch is a strong contender because their amenity setup is basically built around the idea of vacationing at home. Adventure Island is the star of the show over there at Cross Creek Ranch with that resort style pool feel. Another neighborhood, Ellison. Ellison is newer and it has that polished modern master plan feel. Their main amenity spaces are built for families, built for fitness and neighborhood events, with a clean resort style pool environment that fits that new community vibe. Now here's another one that's very popular among Katy. Cane Island. Cane Island is another one that brings more of a lifestyle approach. The amenities lean into fitness and the community hangout energy with like a lap pool. It has fitness centers or fitness options and an overall setup that just really feels curated, not just, you know, here's a pool, good luck. And also at Cane Island, they have an on-site restaurant inside the neighborhood, which is actually pretty cool. Been there, ate there, drank there. It's fun. Next up for Katy is gonna be Firethorn. Now Firethorn checks off a lot of boxes too. Sports, courts, pools, trails, recreational features that make it very family friendly or family forward and very activity friendly. So Katy is strong, there's no doubt about that. But now my friends, let's go over to Cypress. And this is where Cypress starts acting like it's not even fair. Seriously, just listen to this. Because one of my favorites, Town Lake. Town Lake is basically, do you want to live in a neighborhood or do you want to live in a full-blown resort? Now they've got full-blown water parks, right? Full-blown water park feel with lazy rivers, big slides, big pools, energy all over the place, and the lake lifestyle layered on top of it all. It truly is an amazing, remarkable community. It feels like you're permanently on spring break, especially when you see how the community is actually designed all around the water. If you want to boat there, you can boat there. You could have water sports there. You can do tubing, all kinds of stuff. And then there's Bridgeland. Now Bridgeland is on another level of its own. Bridgeland doesn't just have one amenity center carrying that whole community. They have multiple amenity centers, and they each feel like its own little destination. Dragonfly Park, for example, it's one of the big ones that people know about. They're in Bridgeland, right? You have resort style pools, all of the energy there, fitness focused features, and that family fun vibe that really makes it feel like there's always something going on. And then you've got other major Bridgeland hubs like Lakeland Village Center or the Activity Center or the Prairieland Village Activity Center, and their newer expansions continuing to add more lifestyle driven amenities with more pools, more splash pads, more splash areas, more parks, more trails, more community gathering spaces. And the thing about Bridgeland is it's not just pool amenities, it's the full outdoor lifestyle. We're talking lakes, trails, parks, and the community planning that really makes it feel like a true resort environment instead of just, like a neighborhood with a pool, which, don't get me wrong, is amazing, but Bridgeland is on a whole nother level. And when you add in other communities like Fairfield, which has a strong athletic club lifestyle set up with courts and fitness and recreation areas, and then Cypress Creek Lakes with multiple recreation pools or recreation areas with pools and splash features. Cypress, my friends, is just absolutely stacked, loaded. So here is my verdict. If we're strictly judging resort style amenities, I'm gonna give this win to Cypress, and it's mainly, in my opinion, because of Town Lake and Bridgeland that are bringing that weekend vacation energy every single day. Now, Katy has amazing master plan communities, absolutely, but my friends, Cypress is gonna win that resort lifestyle category. Now, this section here is for all of my families out there, because for a lot of you guys, this really isn't just Katy versus Cypress, it's really Katy ISD versus Cyfair ISD, with the side of please do not make me move again so I don't hate my school that I'm zoned to. Now, first thing to understand, both of these districts are enormous. I'm talking huge. Like, this is basically a small country with homework type huge. It is massive. Now, in the Katy area, you're in the Katy Independent School District, or Katy ISD, as I said a second ago. And that district, my friends, crushes it on the rankings. According to niche.com, Niche is gonna give Katy ISD an A+ overall rating, and it's actually ranked #1 in the Houston area for 2026. Katy ISD also scores extremely well statewide for teacher quality, diversity, and overall academics. Now, Katy ISD has about 94,785 students across the district. Yeah, you heard that right. And if you're trying to visualize that, it's basically a sold out football stadium, but with a lot of backpacks and a lot of snack requests. And this district has around 47 elementary schools, 18 middle schools, and 10 high schools. Now let's go over to Cypress. In Cypress, you are in Cyfair ISD, or Cyfair Independent School District. Also a very solid district, but with slightly lower district-wide rankings. Currently ranked as the 6th best district in the Houston region. Now, Cyfair ISD has great athlete programs and gets strong overall ratings from niche.com as well. And guys, get this, Cyfair ISD is even larger than Katy, coming in at 118,470 students. That's not a school district, guys. That is a freaking population in itself. Like, if Cyfair were a city, it would be the kind of city that has its own Buc-ee's and has 3 Target locations and 16 different Walmarts. The district has around 58 elementary schools, 20 middle schools, and 12 freaking high schools. Man, that's a massive district, my gosh. Now, here's the part that people actually care about. The student to teacher ratio is about 15 or 16 to 1 in both districts, which is pretty solid. And that means basically you're not gonna be sending your kid into a classroom with 47 students and 1 teacher who is literally running on caffeine and prayers. But here's the real world advice. Even inside of a great school district, the experience can change a lot. It can change drastically based on what part of Katy that you're in, based on what part of Cypress that you're in, and based on what school boundary line that you land on. Because school zoning out here can be like, this side of the street has amazing schools, and across the street, congratulations, my friend. You now live in a completely different universe. So when you're house hunting, don't just say, I want Katy ISD or I want Cypher ISD. No, that's the wrong thing to say. You want to say this, I want this neighborhood feeding into these schools. So here's the bottom line. Both of those districts are extremely great. They're exceptional, but Katy's rankings are gonna tend to be a notch higher on average. So with all of that said, we're gonna give this win to Katy, Texas. Next category, new construction availability. So let's answer the question that every new build buyer is thinking. Which suburb gives you the most new construction choices? And right now, Katy has about 467 new construction homes for sale, and Cypress has about 291. I just pulled that data yesterday. So if we're talking sheer volume and options, different builders and different floor plans and different price points, Katy is going to be taking this round. And it makes sense. Katy's got a bunch of massive growth corridors where builders are basically printing these neighborhoods, especially along I-10 and 99. But, and this is a big but, more options doesn't automatically mean better options, because Cypress can have fewer listings overall but still punch above its weight with communities like Bridgeland and Town Lake. So here's the takeaway. If you want the widest selection of new construction right now, Katy's obviously gonna win this one. But if you wanna judge which suburb has the most resort style feel, well, you already know who won that fight, my friends. And speaking of homes, gotta talk about home prices. So now let's talk about these home prices and affordability and what your budget can actually get you, because this is usually the deciding factor when I work with people like yourself that are relocating to the Houston region. Now, as of early 2026, the typical median home price in Katy is gonna be sitting around roughly that $370,000 to $380,000 marker, according to the recent data that I pulled, with typical median sold prices also going to be around that range as well. Now in Cypress, on the other hand, you're seeing median listing prices that are gonna be closer to $430,000 or $440,000. So right now, on average, Katy tends to be a little bit more affordable overall. And Cypress is typically listing a bit higher, and if you dig deeper by the neighborhood, those ranges will widen. But the general trend is clear, my friends. Cypress usually sits slightly above Katy on the median pricing. So here is what that means. Entry-level buyers, your budgets are likely to stretch further in many parts of Katy. Mid-range buyers, or people with mid-range budgets, you can get really solid value in either place, but Cypress may offer larger or newer homes at those prices. And for all of my luxury people out there with the luxury budgets, both suburbs have high-end pockets, but Cypress's new master planned areas push the top end just a bit more. So in the affordability category overall, Katy wins again. Will Cypress win at all? Anyway, speaking of luxury, let's talk luxury homes. And for the sake of this video, don't come at me in the comments. We're gonna keep it very simple because luxury can mean something different to literally everybody. So today we are going to be defining luxury as $1 million and up. Period, end of story. I know some people may say luxury is not gonna start till 2 million. Look, we're just good for the conversation sake for this video, 1 million and up, okay? So here is what the numbers look like as of today, or as of yesterday when I pulled the numbers to make this video. In Katy, there are currently 46 luxury home options on the market, and they're gonna range from $1 million all the way up to $5 million. Now in Cypress, there are 47 luxury home options, and they range from $1 million to $3 million. So yes, Cypress technically has one more option available as of making this video, of course, but for this round, I'm gonna give the win to Katy, and here's why. Because the question isn't just who has one extra listing right now, in my opinion. It's who has the bigger luxury ceiling, right? Who has the higher luxury ceiling and who has the more high-end variety. Now, if your budget is just over $1 million, both suburbs are definitely in play. But if you're trying to play in the $3 to $5 million category, Katy is simply giving you more runway. So here's the takeaway on that. Luxury options are basically a tie in quantity, but Katy wins on luxury range and top-end selection. Next up, location and commute. Now, Katy runs along the I-10 corridor on the west side of Houston. Cypress runs along the Highway 290, which is on the northwest side of Houston. Now, if you work in the energy corridor, Katy is gonna be usually the easier commute. And if you're heading towards northwest Houston, Cypress obviously makes way more sense. Both of those freeways, 290 and I-10, can get you to downtown, but let's be honest with ourselves, nobody really moves to either suburb because they just love commuting downtown every day. It's not really how this works. This really comes down to which highway or which area is gonna fit your life better. Now, this section is hard to pick a clear winner because traveling on either freeway during rush hour really sucks, okay? But if I had to pick a winner, I'm gonna give this one to Cypress because driving on I-10 during rush hour is an absolute nightmare, my friends. All right, it's time we get real for a second and discuss something that you must be mindful of, and that is flood zones and the impact it will have on you. So although both suburbs are outstanding with the highest quality of life possible in the Houston region, there are some pockets that are in the 100-year floodplain called Zone AE. Now that's essentially the highest risk of potential flooding. You will be required to have an elevation certificate to provide an insurance carrier for an accurate quote on a flood policy. You must have a policy if you are going to be financing a home with a lender in Zone AE. However, the vast majority of both suburbs are going to be located in Zone X or not located in the zone at all. Zone X is the 500-year floodplain and it is considered marginal risk, and you are not required to have a flood insurance policy. You can also go to FEMA's flood maps online and you can type in a neighborhood to see whether a property is in a flood zone or not. If it is, that can and will dramatically have an impact on your monthly payment because flood insurance is not included in a standard mortgage payment. And that can add hundreds of dollars a month depending on the zone. Now, this is one of the biggest surprises buyers face if they don't check early. Now, who might come out the winner here? It's really hard to say, but because the Addicts Reservoir is near the Katy area, I'm gonna have to give this win to Cypress. Don't come at me. Next category, who has the best shopping and dining and entertainment? Okay, this one's a good one. So both Katy and Cypress have a ton to do in the area. In Cypress, you have the Houston Premium Outlet Mall, you have tons of restaurants, and the most notable is gonna be the Boardwalk at Town Lake, which features loads of shopping, loads of dining, and year-round entertainment. Now in Katy, on the other hand, you have La Centera, which is in Cinco Ranch, a community that we discussed earlier. You have the Katy Mills Mall. Both are massive and have so much to do. And Katy Mills is also home to Typhoon Texas Water Park, perfect for those summertime cool downs and taking your kids to have an absolute blast. So who is the winner here? Well, I have personally been to all of them. I've shopped, I've dined, I've played, I've drank, I've done all kinds of stuff at these places, right? Both are fantastic, don't get me wrong, but in my opinion, Katy takes the cake on this one. Property taxes and HOA. This is real talk before we move on, okay? We cannot talk about Houston suburbs without talking about taxes. And here's a simple way buyers like you should think about it if you're not familiar with the Houston region. Anything below 3% effective tax rate before your homestead exemption, in my opinion, is generally okay, right? If you're above 3%, it really just starts to feel absolutely outrageous for those monthly payment calculations. Now in Texas, tax rates are gonna vary across communities and mud boundaries, so don't just look at the price, look at the effective tax rate after your homestead exemptions, because that is what's gonna go into making what your payment is gonna end up being. HOA fees can also add up in master plan community as well, so total monthly cost matters just as much as the sales price. You can expect anywhere from $1,000 to $1,800 annually, just depending on where you are within those two suburbs. Of course, it's gonna change from one suburb to the next. So in regards to Katy and Cypress, both are about the same whenever it comes to averages for both tax rates and for HOA dues. They vary wildly, so make sure it's something that you pay attention to. And in my opinion, we're gonna make this category a tie. All right, my friends, before we declare who our winner is, let's talk about who each suburb is best for. Now, in regards to vibe and lifestyle, Katy feels very polished, very master planned, newer, sports fields everywhere. It's very family centric. Cypress feels just a little bit more spread out, more trees, more variety, and in some areas, bigger lots and a more relaxed type of feel. And if you like things feeling very planned and put together, Katy's probably gonna tend to win. But if you like space and you like flexibility, Cypress is gonna start pulling ahead. Now, in my opinion, Katy is best for families who want top-ranked schools, slightly more affordable median home pricing, master planned communities with those awesome amenities, and Cypress is best for buyers who just want a variety of housing styles or slightly roomier or newer homes on average, and also a blend of nature, lakes, parks, and just community amenities. Neither of these suburbs are better per se, they're just better for different people, and that's the part that the internet usually leaves out. All right, so let's crown our winner for our first ever Battle of the Burbs video. Drum roll, please. In the epic battle for the #1 spot with the final tally of 7-4, the winner is Katy Texas. Woohoo! Katy won! Yeah, that's so lame. Anyways, look, this was a pretty fun video to do. I really enjoyed actually making this video and putting it together, and I hope you found some sort of value as well. Both suburbs are absolutely outstanding and amazing, but just like with any place, they all are gonna have their pros and they all are gonna have their cons. You just have to find out what works best for you and what fits your lifestyle the most. So now, my friends, I wanna hear it from you guys. Are you Team Katy or are you Team Cypress? And if you're moving to the Houston region, which one do you see yourself leaning toward the most? Drop it in the comment section. I'm genuinely curious of what your thoughts are. And if you want a deeper breakdown of specific neighborhoods or what your budget may get you in either one of these areas, that's exactly what I do. Reach out anytime. We help people just like you buy, sell, and relocate to the Houston region every single month. Like I said earlier, my information is in the description box down below. Please reach out to me and I'll be happy to help you. Send me a text or email and we will make sure you have a smooth move to the Houston region. See you guys in the next video.